And good evening, everyone. It is time for Bronco baseball. It is a beautiful Wednesday night here in El Dorado as the Broncos entertain the Andale Warhawks. Good evening, Kurt Caden here with you. Good to have you tuned in for Bronco baseball tonight. Here are the starting lineups, the batting order for Andale. Ethan White will lead off. Cameron Duke bats second. Tanner Buckley third. Austin Bunnell fourth. Ethan Bergkamp will bat fifth, and Eric Williams sixth. Noah Wallace bats seventh. Jager Keyline eighth, and Thomas Beiswinger will bat ninth. Out in the field for El Dorado. In the outfield, Zach Breeden is in left, Tanner White in center, and Jamie Ritchie is in right field. Around the infield, Cooper Elliott mans third base. Tanner Sparks is at shortstop. Brant Kim is at second base, and Connor Kinn is at first base. Catching for El Dorado is Braden Rodden. And on the hill for the Broncos is Hudson Oliver. Broncos with their newer jerseys with the black backs and the orange front. Andale dressed in yellow tops with gray pants. And we are getting ready for baseball here from El Dorado. And it looks like we're going to start right at 7 o'clock. Gary, we're starting right at 7. We're on time. Beautiful. We'll take it. So Hudson Oliver on the hill. And he gets ready to deliver his first pitch, which is a swing and a miss. Our first pitch temperature tonight, 89 degrees, but it feels like 97. The dew point at 72, our humidity at 57%. The winds are out of the south at 14 miles an hour. Oliver's second delivery in there for strike two. Oh, no balls and 2 strikes. That wind out of the south at 14 miles an hour, if you're new to our broadcast or not familiar with this stadium, that means the wind is blowing from right field out to left field. The 0-2 pitch from Oliver, curveball nubbed off the end of the bat towards Kinn at first. That's as easy of a play as he's going to ever get. And the first out of the game is recorded. That was cue-balled right out there. And Cameron Duke will come to the dish for Andale. Hudson Oliver out of Cisco Community College, 6'3", 215. He hails from Victoria, Texas. Duke, a left-handed batter, and fastball is in there for strike one. We're going to have to pause a little bit on those strikes. The umpire, he'll step back and then hesitate for a moment, and then he lets us know if it's a strike or not. Here's the 0-1. That's outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Every umpire's got their own way. One ball and 1 strike. Oliver winds and deals, and that slider darted inside and missing. 2 balls and a strike. Oliver comes into play tonight with a record of no wins, 2 losses, and 1 save. 17 innings of work. Here's one hit the other way, slicing and foul down the left field line. 17 innings of work for Oliver, a 5.32 ERA. 21 hits given up in those 17 innings. He has walked 6 and struck out 12. Teams are batting .309 against Hudson Oliver. Broncos and Warhawks played last night in Andale. There's a pitch out of the zone, 2-2. And a wild game. Lots of scoring early, and then lots of scoring late. El Dorado, for at least a second or third time, a 9th inning lead didn't hold, and the Broncos lost Andale 12-11. Here's a ball fading into foul territory. Breeden couldn't get there, but it's a foul ball. Couldn't see it on your picture. Zach Breeden went into a feet-first slide looking to get that, but there was, of course, Sparks and Elliott giving chase as well, and it landed harmlessly foul, and Duke will get another shot. Broncos losing 12-11 last night to Andale. And in a tight division right now, a loss to an Andale team that came in with a record of 1-14 stings a bit. So it makes this one even more important here tonight for El Dorado to grab. 2 balls and 2 strikes here to Duke. And the pitch, again, going the other way is Duke. He's got a little bit of an inside-out swing up there, and he's going down the left field line. Cameron Duke, 3-2, 3-2. Cameron Duke hails from Moses Lake, Washington. He goes to Northwest Nazarene University. I'm pretty sure that's an NAIA school. Here's a 3-2 off the glove of Rodden. The umpire stepped back. I was waiting for a strike 3 call. Not called. It's a ball 4 and a walk for Duke. And that'll bring up Tanner Buckley. Right-handed batter is Buckley. Went 0 for 2 last night with a couple of strikeouts. Pitch, fastball outside, 1-0. El Dorado was not helped by 6 errors last night. And an Andale team that in their previous 2 games against Cheney and the Wichita Sluggers had combined for just 1 run. Came up with 12 last night. Inside corner for a strike for Oliver. In fact, that win, 1, 2, 3, 4... snapped a losing streak for Andale. I was adding it up. My screen changed. I'll get that info here. Hudson Oliver at the belt. And the pitch. Curveball, swing, and a miss. Strike 2. That win last night by Andale snapped a 7-game losing streak. Of course, we saw the Newton Rebels snap a 6-game losing streak at the Broncos' expense. Throw over to first, a light toss, and just looking up Duke, he slides back in safely. Every team has a different flavor every summer. Here comes a 1-2 pitch to Buckley, and a swing and a miss, strike 3. 2 away, and that'll bring up Austin Bunnell. Gary Carr has seen 33 versions of the El Dorado Broncos. Parts, every now and then you get a player that'll stay a couple of years, maybe 3. This Broncos team through the month of June has shown, they've got 2 pitchers going to the All-Star game. Their bats have been decent. Here's a pop-up straight behind us and out of play. But more often than not, and I think Gary would agree, the defense has really let this team down. 2 games with 6 errors. I'd be curious how many games with 0 errors. 2. And on the road is one thing. There's a lot of fields in our league that the traditional grass and dirt infield and outfield. Here at home, though, with a turf infield, there's just it boggles a little bit. Beautiful curveball there for a strike, and it's 0-2 here on Bunnell. But the beautiful thing with our game, though, there's a lot of games to go, and if you have pitching, you're going to be in games. Traditionally, these leagues very offensive-minded, even with the wood bats. No balls and 2 strikes here to Bunnell. Runner on the move. The pitch is hit towards third and foul. Elliott grabs that behind the bag. So it remains 0-2. Broncos have a nice little stretch here. 4 of the next 5 nights right here in El Dorado. We're back on the night. The Mulvane Patriots are in town. Off of first is Cameron Duke. And the pitch from Oliver, high fastball, 1-2. Austin Bunnell hails from Atchison, Kansas goes to Coffeyville Community College. Comes into play tonight with a .263 batting average. Went 1 for 4 last night with a couple of runs scored. Runner on the move, the pitch, a swing and a miss, and a nice inning for Oliver. Couple of strikeouts for Hudson Oliver, and the 1 walk. So no runs, no hits, no errors, 1 man left on base. We'll go to the bottom of the first inning. It's Andale 0, El Dorado coming to bat. Great to have you tuned in. This is Bronco Baseball on YouTube. Let's take a look at the defense for the Warhawks and the batting order for the Broncos. Let's start with El Dorado. They will lead off with Cooper Elliott. Brant Kim bats second. Jamie Ritchie third. Connor Kinn batting fourth. Tanner White fifth. And Tanner Sparks sixth. Zach Breeden will bat seventh. Dawson Woods eighth. And Braden Rodden will bat ninth for El Dorado. Cooper Elliott leading off. Yeah, the first game he led off, and now he's worked his way back up there. For the Warhawks out in the outfield. In left field is Cameron Duke. Ethan White is in center field, and Noah Wallace in right field. In the infield, Austin Bunnell at third base. Jagger Keyline's at short. The second baseman is Thomas Beiswanger. Hope I'm saying that right. Beiswanger. At first base is Tanner Buckley. Behind the plate is Ethan Bergkamp. And pitching for the Warhawks, Dominic Scudero. And the first pitch to Elliott outside, ball 1. A lot of folks tuned in already. Hope we have some Warhawks fans tuned in. Parents, grandparents, feel free to join in the chat. Love to know where you're watching from, who you're rooting for. There's a strike to Elliott, 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's a ball on the right side, cut off by Beiswanger, and makes a great play to first, but the pitcher couldn't hold the base, so that'll be an infield single. Terrific defense there by Beiswanger, but Cooper Elliott will get a leadoff single for El Dorado. The second baseman, number 10, Brant Kim. And that'll bring up Brant Kim. So Jacob Kelly, the head coach, not here tonight for El Dorado. I mean, he might be tuned in. Here's the pitch to Kim, swinging at a high. Looked like maybe a hit and run. The throw down to second. Safe. Close play. Cooper Elliott will get the steal. Quick tag applied there by Beiswanger, but just a hair late. Looked like a hit and run there for El Dorado. So no balls and a strike to Brant Kim. El Dorado fell behind early last night, worked themselves back into the lead into the 9th. And Kim shooting for the right center field. That will drop. Ethan White has it, throws it in to short. Elliott had to wait to see if it was going to drop. So he'll move over to third. And a single for Brant Kim. And here's Jamie Ritchie, the all-star Jamie Ritchie. Dominic Scudero is out of Kansas City, Missouri, the pitcher for Andale, goes to Coffeyville Community College. This is his 5th game, his 4th start of the summer. First pitch to Ritchie, just outside, 1-0. No wins and 2 losses for Scudero, an ERA of 6.90. 9 strikeouts, 6 walks in 14 1/3 innings of work. Pitch to Ritchie on the corner for strike 1. Scudero, his last outing came against the Derby Twins on June 19th, 1 week ago. He went 3 2/3, 10 hits given up, or 10 runs given up, 9 hits, 5 earned runs. He had a walk and 3 strikeouts. And in his last 7 2/3 innings of work, he's given up 19 hits. 2 quick ones here for El Dorado. On the move, and Ritchie nubs it towards first. It is foul, but boy, if Buckley comes up with a catch, it's an easy double play. Running was Kim on the play. Dominic Scudero, 5'7", 150. And a throw over, and Kim is back. Jamie Ritchie at the dish, hitting .269 this summer, 14 for 52. 4 doubles for Ritchie of those 14 hits. And the pitch, and Ritchie swung over the top of that one, and a strikeout, a big strikeout for Scudero. So 1 away, and here's another all-star, Connor Kinn for El Dorado. Connor Kinn out of Wixom, Michigan, 6'7", 210. Goes to Northwood College. Kinn, with 55 official at-bats, leads the team, and he looks at strike 1. A .327 average for Kinn, 18 out of 55. 2 doubles. He's driven in 6. He's scored 7. Kim on the move. The pitch to Kinn is a ball, and Kim is safe down at second. It's a lot of Kim and Kinn right there. Not only do we have Kim and Kinn playing second and first, they're batting second and fourth in the order. 2 pretty good throws down to second by Bergkamp, but just missing. And now Kinn with a chance to drive in 2, a swing and a miss. And a ball and 2 strikes now to Connor Kinn. We have no score. Bottom of the first inning here from McDonald Stadium. And the pitch, and Kinn is fooled. He is going to be tagged out. So another big strikeout for Scudero. And now El Dorado will look for a big 2-out hit here from Tanner White. Tanner White's average starting to move north at .220 right now, 9 for 41. And White gets under this one, flips it down the left field side, then it'll go out of play. Jake Melton is the leading RBI guy for the Broncos with 11. So no ball and a strike. And outside, 1-1. Down at third base, Cooper Elliott. Brant Kim at second. And the 1-1 pitch, and White drives it out to center field and deep. Going back is White to the wall and gone. Tanner White, a 3-run homer to straightaway center field, and that did not just barely get over either. So Tanner White, who had 5 RBIs on the summer, drives in 3 with 1 swing of the bat. Scudero, who had run the first 2, reach. And there's another drive. This one out into left center field by Sparks. To the wall and gone. Back-to-back home runs for Tanner Sparks. Follows up Tanner White's home run with a solo shot, a no-doubter to left center field. And a 4-0 El Dorado lead. So now here's Zach Breeden coming up. That was a first pitch. Back-to-back pitches get deposited over the wall. First pitch to Breeden is in there for strike one. Breeden goes to Southeast Nebraska. He's from Lakesville, Minnesota, and fouls this one in the netting and quickly in a hole 0-2. 5'8", 180 is Zach Breeden. Hitting .214 on the summer, 3 for 14. The 0-2 and a good eye there. Good pitch by Scudero on 0-2, and now it's 1-2. Boy, Scudero so close to getting out of an early first inning jam. Got back-to-back strikeouts, but then back-to-back homers. And Breeden rifles one into center field. One hop to Ethan White out there, and Breeden for a single. 5 hits for El Dorado here in the first inning so far. Mentioned just a few moments ago, Scudero had given up 19 hits in his last 7+ innings of work. And that total adding. Now the designated hitter for El Dorado is Dawson Woods. And the first pitch to Woods slides in there for a strike, 0-1. Left-handed batter, Dawson Woods. Breeden gets a lead off of first and the pitch. And Woods hit it hard but foul, just past his first base coach. So no balls and 2 strikes. Gary Carr told me Tanner Sparks was out here about an hour early taking extra BP. That really worked well for Dawson Woods the last time we saw him here. On the move is Breeden. Pitches outside. The throw down to second is not in time. The shortstop Keyline couldn't get the tag on the arm, and so a stolen base for Breeden. 3 stolen bases, 5 hits, 2 homers for El Dorado. They lead 4-0. 1 ball and 2 strikes here to Dawson Woods. And Woods shoots it out into left field, and it's going to be caught by Duke. Good wood put on there by Woods, but a fly out to left field. A productive first inning for El Dorado. They score 4 times on 5 hits, back-to-back homers by Tanner White and Tanner Sparks. And we go to the second inning, El Dorado 4, Andale 0. So a noisy first inning for El Dorado. They lead 4-0. And Hudson Oliver will deal with Ethan Bergkamp, the catcher, to lead off the second. And the first delivery, little high, little in, 1 ball and no strikes. 6'3", 215 is Hudson Oliver. The wind and the pitch, and sprayed foul into the parking lot. Car hunting and missing. The last time Hudson towed the rubber was on June 20th, 6 days ago. A 5-4 loss to the Derby Twins. The 1-1 to Bergkamp, missing 2-1. Oliver went 3 innings that night, gave up 2 runs, both earned, 4 hits, and had a couple of walks. Oliver 0-2 on the summer, a 5.82 ERA. And a bouncer down to Elliott, gets it a nice room service hop. Good strong throw to Woods at first, or to Kin, I beg your pardon. And Bergkamp is retired 5-3. And that'll bring up Eric Williams, the designated hitter. Oliver's longest outing this summer. He was not the pitcher of record, but he went 4 1/3 innings at Great Bend on June 5th. Gave up 5 hits, just 2 runs, though, both earned. 1 walk and 4 strikeouts on that night. Here's a hot shot under the glove of Elliott into left field. That'll be a base hit for Williams. So Gary Carr can add another tally to the streak of no-hitters for or against El Dorado. Here's Noah Wallace, the right fielder. First hit of the game for Andale. Williams gets a decent lead off of first. And the pitch from Oliver is a swing and a miss. A beautiful curve there by Oliver. That one was a big breaker. Noah Wallace, another member of this Andale team who attends college at Coffeyville. He's out of Omaha, Nebraska. 5'10", 165 is Noah Wallace. And the 0-1 pitch, and that is in there for strike 2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Still feels like 96 here in El Dorado, just your typical late June weather here in South Central Kansas. 1 away for the Warhawks here in the second. The pitch, a swing and a miss. Strike 3, and the third strikeout of the night for Hudson Oliver. And that'll bring up Jaeger Keyline. Jaeger, so either Jaeger or Jaeger. Matt went with Jaeger, so maybe I'll go Jaeger.
I think I heard him pronounce it that way last
Okay.
night.
And first pitch swinging, lifts it into shallow right field, drifting back. Brant Kim makes the catch, and 1 pitch and the third out is recorded. A pop out to second base. No runs, a hit. 1 man left on base. We'll go to the bottom of the second inning. El Dorado 4, Andale 0. So Braden Rodden will lead off the bottom of the second inning here for the El Dorado Broncos. Appreciate the kind words from Tom Tuttle on our broadcast here tonight. A lot of folks watching here. Good to have you tuned in. Sunflower Collegiate League Baseball. Is it 1-1 here, Gary? I was looking down.
1-1.
1 ball, 1 strike. From Dominic Scudero. And a good cut, but a miss by Rodden, and it's 0-2. Or 1-2. I'll get, you know what? I'll get it figured out.
I'm the same way. You get your head down.
Exactly. There's a nice pitch on the outer third for strike 3 that fooled Braden. But again, you got to be patient with the umpire. You got to figure out if he's calling it or not.
I already had that down.
It's one of those nights where Gary and I like to try to work quick. Better not work quick, because more often than not, we'll probably be wrong. Cooper Elliott to the top of the order here for El Dorado. Singled, stole a base, and scored in that 4-run first inning for El Dorado. And first pitch looking, and it's strike 1. Scudero hitting the zone. No balls and a strike, and the pitch outside 1-1. Gary and I were talking off air. You know, I mean, for Scudero, hey, El Dorado hit him, but he didn't have any walks. There was no errors. It was just one of those innings where the Broncos got some pitches to hit, and they took advantage of them. But boy, in this league, if you watch the scores for all the games, 1 ball and 2 strikes here to Elliott. And the pitch from Scudero, and Elliott slaps it towards third and gloved over there by Bunnell. That's 2 away, and that'll bring up Brant Kim. But night in and night out, there's always 4 to 5 games every night, it seems like. And I'm amazed just looking at the scores how many 1-run, 2-run games there are in this league. Your margin of being really good and really bad is pretty slim, record-wise. The 1-0 pitch is in there for strike 1 to Brant Kim. We talked about the Newton Rebels earlier when they snapped a 6-game losing streak here in El Dorado a week or so ago. Pitch to Kim, missing 2-1. They had lost 6 games in a row, which doesn't sound great, but all 6 were by 1 run. Amazing. And that night they were down 6 here and came fighting back. And there's Kim hitting over into shallow left center field. That'll drop in for a hit. So a 2-out single for Brant Kim, who's 2 for 2. So here's Jamie Ritchie. Jamie Ritchie struck out his first time up. He'll look to atone for that here. 4-0 El Dorado, bottom of the second inning. And the pitch, and not a great swing from Jamie. Pops it up on the infield, and it's the shortstop Keyline taking charge, and he'll make the catch to end the inning. No runs on a hit. There were no errors and 1 man left on base. Through 2 innings of play from McDonald Stadium, it's the Broncos 4 and the Warhawks 0. And welcome back. Top of the third inning here from El Dorado. Broncos leading 4-0. Lynn Oliver is watching down in Victoria, Texas, and probably got a little bit of a scare. Here's the first offering from Hudson Oliver, and popped into shallow left field, just drifting back the shortstop, and that is Sparks, and he'll make the catch for the first out. But Hudson Oliver went out to the mound and was stretching trying to touch both toes before he started his warm-up pitches. Took one warm-up pitch, and you could see it must have been a cramp, and which can be very painful, of course. First pitch in there, a strike to Ethan White. But I'm sure a little scary for a parent watching to see her son laying on the mound. But it was a cramp, and the coaches went out, stretched it out, and Oliver continues to try to pound that zone. 1 ball and 1 strike here to Ethan White. Coming into this inning, 29 pitches from Oliver, 21 of them strikes. A ball and a strike from Oliver, and hit foul down the third base side. And that'll carry him off the fence into left field. So Zach Breeden will run over and get that ball out of the outfield. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Ethan White, who hit a cue ball shot off the end of his bat that spun over to Connor Kinn, who had an easy put up. The 1-2 curveball is fouled off the toe. That does not feel good at all. Oliver, just in case, throws over to first, but that clearly hit White in the box off the top of the foot. You watch the major leagues, you see batters with elbow protection and shin guard protection. There's not a lot you can do for your toe tops, the tops of your toes. There's not much you can put there. Tough game. 1 ball and 2 strikes, and the pitch, another curveball, and again off the body of White, this time just off the side, but he's still feeling the effects of that foul ball off his foot. The curveball is really working for Hudson Oliver tonight. Here's another 1-2. And trying to change the eye level of White. He went high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The 2-2, a swing and a miss way out in front was White. Might have been a changeup. I'm not sure if Oliver has that, but that looked like a changeup. So 2 away. Hudson Oliver with 4 strikeouts. That matches his season best. And here's Cameron Duke, who walked his first time. Worked the count full and then eventually walked. Left-handed batter. Nice swing here, and he'll send it out into right field for a base hit. Good-looking swing by Cameron Duke there. And here's Thomas Buckley, the first baseman for Andale. Struck out his first time. Of course, along with a communications degree, I also have a film studies degree. And seeing the nice comment from Tom Tuttle made me think of the classic movie Volunteers that starred Tom Hanks, and who would eventually be his wife was in there, who wasn't his wife at the time. I can't think of her name right now. John Candy was in that movie. John Candy played the role of Tom Tuttle. Tom Tuttle from Tacoma, Washington. I wonder if Tom gets that at all. I don't know how many folks are familiar with Volunteers. It's a funny early movie by Tom Hanks. 1 ball and no strikes to Buckley. The pitch is fouled out of play. Trying to think of anyone else that I can remember off the top of my head. I haven't seen the movie in a long time, but if you're looking for a mindless watch, it's pretty good. 1 ball and 1 strike here to Buckley. And the pitch from Oliver is hit out into center field. Tanner White started back, now comes in. He'll make the catch. to retire the side. Very efficient first 3 innings tonight for Hudson Oliver. He's racked up 4 strikeouts, and he's shut down Andale. No runs on a hit and 1 left. We'll head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Broncos 4, Warhawks 0. Bottom of the 3rd inning here from McDonald Stadium. Broncos 4, Warhawks 0. And Connor Kinn will lead it off for El Dorado against Dominic Scudero. Had a rough first inning. The Broncos hit back-to-back home runs. 8 batters came to the dish for El Dorado in the first, but then Scudero had a good second inning. Gave up just a 2-out single to Brant Kim. First pitch to Connor Kinn, missing 1-0. 5-7 Dominic Scudero on the hill against 6-7 Connor Kinn. And Kinn hits it out into right field, a base hit. Kinn will take a big turn. The right fielder Wallace has it, and Kinn will settle for a single. So leadoff single for Connor Kinn, and that'll bring up Tanner White. You never know in a 9-inning game when that big at-bat's going to come up, but I'll tell you what, first 2 got on for El Dorado in the first, then back-to-back strikeouts. And Tanner White, who had 2 strikes, if I'm not mistaken, Gary, sent that pitch. Was it full count or 1? Oh, it was all right. I'm mistaken again. But nonetheless, a 2-out hit, let alone a home run by Tanner White, is a big play in this game. White checks his swing. No, he didn't. So no balls and 2 strikes. And Tanner White, I've done games here 5 years. Gary's been a lot longer. I don't see a lot of home runs to straightaway center field. Seen several to right, several to left. But White hit that straightaway center field over Ethan White's head. And a swing and a miss. Good change of pace there put on by Scudero, and Tanner White strikes out. So with 1 away and Connor Kinn over at first base, that'll bring up Tanner Sparks, who on the very first pitch after the White 3-run home run, blasted it into left center field where neither outfielder really needed to move. They knew where it was going. Curveball dives down low, 1-0 to Sparks. Small sample size for Sparks, came into play 2 for 5. And Sparks hits this one out into right center field, but Ethan White tracks it down and makes the catch. So 2 away. For Tanner Sparks, he has 3 hits, 1 single, 1 double, and now 1 homer. Here's Zach Breeden, who had a clean single that one hopped out to Ethan White in center field his first time, and he's out in front of that pitch from Scudero, and it's 0-1. Scudero doing a much better job getting ahead of hitters here in the second inning and now here in the third. Slightly open stance for Breeden at the dish. And the pitch, and Breeden got under it, lifts it out into right field. Wallace is under it and coming in and makes the catch for the 3rd out. So no runs on 1 hit and 1 left for El Dorado. And through 3 innings of play from McDonald Stadium, it's El Dorado 4 and Andale 0. So top of the fourth inning here from McDonald Stadium. Broncos leading 4-0. A 4-run first inning has propelled the Broncos to this lead. And Austin Bunnell will lead it off for Andale. First pitch from Oliver, squaring around was Bunnell. The ball popped out of the glove of Rodden. It was ball one. El Dorado home tonight here against Andale. Home tomorrow night against Mulvane. The Patriots come to town. Friday night, El Dorado is at Mulvane. And Mulvane does do broadcasts on Facebook Live. Here's the 1-0 and now 2-0. My good friend Frank Martinez. I don't know if he does the home broadcasts or not. He goes on the road and does the games. So you can watch that. It won't be me. Saturday and Sunday night, the Wichita Sluggers come to town. High chopper to Elliott. He has to wait for it. This is going to be a deep throw and offline, and that'll be a single. That is a tough throw, waiting for that to come down well behind third base. And it's one of those where hard to even say if a good accurate throw gets him. So Bunnell with an infield single. And that'll bring up Bergkamp. And when you watch enough games here, you see enough of those McDonald's Stadium Brad Long field singles, just like that, just a bouncer into the turf. And if you have average to good speed, squaring around a bunt and foul is Bergkamp. So no balls and a strike.
These guys do sacrifice.
They play small ball, huh?
Yeah.
Getting off to a quick lead there is Bunnell off of first. He's near the cutout. Bergkamp down on the count 0-1. Even after bunting that first one, Elliott not playing in at third. And Bergkamp did not square around there. Went across the chest, a little inside, 1-1. Busy stretch for El Dorado, playing tonight, tomorrow, Friday at Mulvane, Saturday and Sunday night here, and then a doubleheader, a crucial doubleheader, I think, in our division, with Hayesville in Hayesville on July 1st. Inside again, 2-1. Coming into this inning, through 3 innings, Hudson Oliver threw 11 balls and 30 strikes. Leadoff infield single for Bunnell. (4-0) Broncos here in the top of the fourth inning. And again, oh, that's in there. It's 4 strike, 2 balls and 2 strikes. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Ethan Bergkamp, who grounded out to third his first time. Bunnell off of first, and he's on the move. The pitch from Oliver, a swing and a miss. Rodden's throw just got past Sparks, and it's a stolen base and a strikeout. Good jump by Bunnell. Bergkamp strikes out, so 1 away for the designated Eric Williams. The Andale Warhawks, of course, I'm still learning with the Broncos in a new league. So used to, in the Jayhawk League, you just played 3-game series, 3 games at home, 3 games on the road, and that's how it worked. And the Sunflower Collegiate League schedule is a little bit different, where you may play a team once. Here's one, fisted out into center field. Tanner White coming in, and he'll make the catch in center field. A lot of times it's a home and home. You'll play a team maybe at their place one night and then at your place the next night. That happens more often than not. Andale, I'm not sure how this works out. Maybe because of rain or field availability, who knows. Tomorrow night, Andale is hosting Great Bend, and then they host Great Bend for a doubleheader on Friday. So they'll have 3 games against the Batcats at Andale in 2 days. Of course, those teams are in the same division. Here's the pitch, a swing and a miss to Noah Wallace, who struck out his first time. From what I can gather, you play teams in your division 4 times and you play teams from the other division 3 times.
I'm still learning.
Still, it's hard to teach old dogs new tricks, but we're trying. Here's the 0-1, hit hard out into left field. Breeden comes up with it. Rounding third is Bunnell. The throw home is going to be late, and it's a 2-out RBI single for Noah Wallace. And it makes it 4-1. You know, when throws from the outfield come in, infielders sometimes use the turf to skip it to a first baseman to get a little extra zip. It seems like throws from the outfield, when they hit that turf, they really kind of check up almost like a golf ball. That one from Breeden was on line, but it hit the turf, and all of a sudden it just took all the zip out of that throw from Breeden in left field. First pitch swinging is Keyline. Kinn comes up, makes the play in fair territory. Keyline says it was foul, but Connor Kinn made sure to get it in fair territory, and Keyline is retired, 3 unassisted. 1 run on 2 hits for the Warhawks. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. El Dorado 4, Andale 1. Bottom of the 4th inning here from McDonald Stadium. Dawson Woods will lead it off for El Dorado. He flew out to left field his first time. He put good wood on it, but he hit it. It's almost unfair to call it a flyout, but that's what it is. But it was hit hard right at the left fielder, Cameron Duke. And an excuse me swing and checked up into foul territory, 0-1. Gary, a name that you and I both remember well, is cheering on his Cisco Community College teammate. Daniel Nelson has joined the chat here outside, 1-1. See a lot of players through the last 5 years here through the Broncos system. Oh, nice pitch there by Cedero in there for a strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Daniel Nelson quickly turned into one of the most entertaining pitchers for me to watch in my 5 years here. The 1-2, a little bit outside, 2-2. Was so hoping I would see his name on the roster this year. Hope all is well, Daniel. Here's the 2-2, bounces in, 3-2. And Tom Tuttle, boy, I'm glad I'm glad that you weren't offended by what my reference to the movie Volunteers. Yeah, Tom Hanks is married to Rita Wilson. Gosh, couldn't pull that one out. And the 3-2 is diving down low, and so a leadoff walk for Woods. And Tom says only someone who studied film. You know, for some reason, Volunteers, so early in Tom Hanks' career, folks think of more of the Forrest Gumps and Castaway. Of course, Toy Story now. Toy Story 4. Rod and a high chopper that'll bounce over the third baseman for a single. Woods will move on to second base. So Braden Rodden pounds it into the Brad Long Field turf here and gets a single out of it. So the bottom 2 of the order get on, and now it's set up for Cooper Elliott, the leadoff batter. Elliott singled, stole a base, and scored in the first inning, and then a line drive out to the third baseman, Bunnell, in the second. And the first pitch just off the dish, and it's 1-0. Some activity down in the Andale bullpen. Runners at first and second for El Dorado. Leadoff walk to Woods. An infield bouncer for Rodden. Got him aboard. And now the pitch to Elliott is high, 2-0. (4-1) El Dorado. Broncos with 8 hits so far. And Elliott, he was ready for a good pitch to hit. He flips it out into left field, and a running catch made by Duke. Elliott was sitting dead red there, but he missed it. So 1 away, and here comes Brant Kim, who's 2 for 2 tonight. Brant Kim, single, steal, and a run scored in the first, a single in the second. And watches this one for strike 1. Four runs on 5 hits in that first inning for El Dorado, including back-to-back jacks. Here's the 0-1, and Kim tied up a bit on that one. Whistles it along the top of the El Dorado dugout. No balls and 2 strikes. Scudero has his sign. And the 0-2 is bouncing in. Nice stop by Bergkamp, but moving on is Dawson Woods, who got a good read off that. So it'll be a wild pitch. Woods moves on to third. Rodden a little harder for the runner behind because he doesn't want to run the Broncos out of an inning. He's not 100% sure Woods is going to go on that. So now runners at the corners for El Dorado. And the 1-2 is outside, 2-2. Of course, when it feels like 96, I wouldn't think it takes anyone long to get warm. In the Andale Warhawks, there's 3, I'm guessing, pitchers and a catcher looking in to see what Scudero does. Kim had a good pitch to hit. Rodden was trying to steal, but it's fouled out of play. One of those nights where we have youth baseball out beyond right field that you might be able to see there. Yeah, you can see it out there a little bit. So a lot of cars in the parking lot here tonight. And a throw over, and Rodden back safely. Braden Rodden, I guess kind of surprising to me, Gary. He hasn't even attempted a stolen base yet this summer. Here's the pitch, and got Kim chasing and struck him out. So 2 away, and here comes Jamie Ritchie. Jamie Ritchie, this is another probably one of Daniel Nelson's guys. He's out of Cisco. Home is Lindale, Texas. A lot of nights we have a lot of Ritchie family watching. And the first pitch is fouled out of play. Slender Man is what Daniel calls Ritchie. The Slender Man. No balls and a strike to Ritchie. And just missing. Bergkamp trying to frame that one in the zone. 1 ball and 1 strike. Ritchie 0 for 2 tonight. A strikeout and a pop out to short. The 1-1. Ritchie fouls it off as Rodden was going again. He's looking for that first steal, Gary. He's not getting a chance. So Ritchie now down in the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Rodden a shallow lead. Ritchie puts it between third and short. It goes into left field. A 2-out RBI single. Jamie Ritchie. And that scores Dawson Woods. How big was that wild pitch? Who knows? Might have been a close play at the plate. We'll never know. Woods scores, and it's 5-1 El Dorado. And here's Connor Kinn. And the first pitch to Kinn is a fastball in there for a strike. Connor Kinn struck out and singled. 1 for 2 here tonight. 5-1 El Dorado. And Kinn bounces it towards first. Buckley's got it. He'll take it himself, and that'll end the inning. But a run on 2 hits. 2 men left on base. And we will head to the 5th inning. Broncos 5, Warhawks 0. This is Bronco Baseball on YouTube. Top of the 5th inning here from El Dorado. The lights are illuminated. The sun is starting to set, and we're ready for the 5th inning. Hudson Oliver's first pitch kind of buzzed the tower there of Thomas Beiswanger. What'd you say coming in, Gary? 15 balls, 38 strikes for Daniel Nelson's protege, Hudson Oliver. Missing in on back-to-back pitches. 2-0 here to Beiswanger, who popped out to short his first time. And the pitch from Oliver hit hard into left field. Going back is Breeden. He'll stop short of the track and make the catch for the first out. A long out. Off the bat, it looked pretty good, but then it just didn't seem to have that carry. The dead air, maybe. Maybe the hot air from Gary and I don't know. Could have been that. For those of you seeing the chat with Daniel Nelson and myself here on our broadcast here, here's a squaring around as Ethan White pulled it back in time, I guess. No balls, or 1 ball and no strikes. Daniel was so much fun to have and would sit up here with us, run the music. Just a fun guy. Here's a bunt towards the first base line, and Connor Kinn will glove it in foul territory, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Had to leave the team early last year, which both Gary and I thought was a big hit to the Broncos last year as they were getting things going. Nelson was really pitching well. And that's the danger for so many of these summer teams when pitchers decide maybe they have a workout regimen they have to do, or their college coach wants them back, or for whatever reason, maybe they just want to go home for a while, which happens as well. 2 balls and a strike. Really any player, not just pitchers. And this one off the handle. Cooper Elliott has it over at third base, and he'll make the catch. So pop out to third. And that'll bring up Cameron Duke. You know, it's a tough thing for a baseball player. You figure if they're playing in college, they really get going with workouts and whatnot in January, maybe even December. Here's the first pitch in there by Oliver for strike 1. A lot of teams start their seasons playing games in February. A lot of them play 40 to 50, 60 games. If they're fortunate to make a postseason run, here's the 0-1 to Cameron Duke out of the zone, 1-1. You're playing into April and May, and then you come and play June and July. Good fastball on the outer third, 1-2. And, of course, if you're fortunate enough to make it to the NBC World Series, you're playing almost into mid-August. And then most colleges, you're starting in mid to late August. Curveball off the end of the bat, and was Oliver's glove thrown at that? Beating it out is Duke. I think Sparks was thrown off. I don't think he threw his glove, did he? I think it just flew off. And that kind of threw off the shortstop Sparks, I think. So it's a 2-out infield single. But, of course, on the other hand, when you're young and you can do this, I would have loved to have played baseball from January to August. I mean, those days just don't, they seem like they'll last forever, but they don't. First pitch swinging, a pop-up on the infield. Cooper Elliott will put this in his back pocket. A couple of infield pop-outs induced by Hudson Oliver. And he gives up just the mere infield single here in the 5th. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th inning. We're halfway through from El Dorado. Broncos 5, Warhawks 1. Bottom of the 5th inning here from El Dorado. 5-1 Broncos. Tanner White will lead it off, a 3-run homer and a strikeout for White here tonight against Dominic Scudero. First pitch swinging and out of play, right behind us. I would imagine both coaching staffs have to be pleased, at least with the starting pitching to this point. A lot of pitchers used last night in that 12-11 game. 5 for El Dorado. Here's the 0-1. White just chops this one foul and quickly 0-2. Andale used, I think, 3 or 4 pitchers last night. And both teams have double headers coming up. Andale on Friday, El Dorado on Monday. Fastball tried to sneak it in there, misses 1-2. Mentioned Andale has 3 games with Great Bend in the next 2 days. Then they're at Newton on Saturday, home to Newton on Sunday. White hits it hard, but right at the second baseman, Beiswinger, who throws over to first to retire Tanner White. Hit it hard, but I don't know if he could have hit it any more at the second baseman than he did right there. For Andale, after their game on Sunday, June 30th, they don't play again for 5 days. Their next game is July 5th. First pitch swinging is Sparks. Sends it out into center field, back to the track, to the wall, and gone. Tanner Sparks. Again, 1 pitch home run, his second solo shot of the night. Third homer of the night for El Dorado, second for Sparks. And that makes it 6-1 El Dorado. Here's Zach Breeden. First pitch in there for strike 1 from Scudero. And I mentioned not many center field home runs, Gary, and there's 2 of them here tonight. Ethan White gave it a great effort. No balls and a strike to Breeden. And Breeden hits this one hard out to left center field. Going back, and one hops the wall. Breeden on his way to second base with a stand-up double. Boy, 2 of the 3 at-bats for Breeden. He has really stung the baseball. And Andale might be going out to get Dominic Scudero. And they are going to make a pitching change. 6-1 El Dorado, bottom of the 5th inning. We'll give you the name of the new pitcher in a moment. This is Bronco Baseball on YouTube. Dawson Woods, the first batter against the new pitcher, Jeff Hendrickson. Try to get some numbers here on Hendrickson. And Woods bounces this one foul and quickly 0-2. 6-1 El Dorado. Tanner White led off the inning ground, but then Tanner Sparks hit a home run to straightaway center field. Zach Breeden doubled to left center field, and that was the end of the night for Scudero. Curveball stays high, 1-2. Jeff Hendrickson from Haven, Kansas, goes to Kansas Wesleyan University in Salina in the Kansas Collegiate Athletic Conference. And a throwback to second, and Breeden is picked off. The shortstop snuck between the base and Breeden, and a spin and a perfect strike by Hendrickson to get rid of Zach off of second base. So 2 away, and here's Dawson Woods with a 1-2 count, now with nobody on base. And he'll hit this one out to short. Keyline has it on a couple of hops. Strong throw over to first to get Woods and retire the side. A run on 2 hits for the Broncos. Nobody left on base. We go to the 6th inning, 6-1 El Dorado. Hudson Oliver returns to the mound for the top of the 6th inning. His longest and best outing by far this season, which is good to see for an El Dorado team that has good pitching. Drew Gooch, Josh Young, both going to the All-Star game. Stevenson started slow, but he's been getting better for the Broncos. Now a good start here from Oliver against the Warhawks, 6-1. Going into the 6th inning, and the first pitch is in there for strike 1 against Austin Bunnell. Bunnell 1 for 2 as an infield single and a strikeout. He scored the lone Andale run. Curveball is in there, a beauty, 0-2. Nice to have so many of you watching and listening. Feel free to join on the chat or send me an email, Caden Broadcasting, C-A-D-E-N, Caden Broadcasting @gmail.com. 0-2 pitch here to Bunnell. Swing and a miss. Strikeout for Hudson Oliver. 3, 4, 5. I got him down for 6, Gary. 6 Ks in my book. 6 strikeouts, 1 walk right now for Oliver, and that was a first inning, second batter walk. So with 1 away, here's Ethan Bergkamp, and Bergkamp looks inside at a ball, 1-0. Andale has left a runner on base every inning, but they haven't, well, they did score the 1 run, but for the most part, runners have been stranded at first base. Here's the 1-0 off the handle, and Cooper Elliott's going to get a third infield pop-out catch. And that's quickly 2 away here in the 6th. And here's Eric Williams. Eric Williams had the first hit of the night for Andale, and that was a second inning single. He flew out to center field his second time up. N. Stokes Berry watching from Portland, Oregon. First pitch swinging Williams. Backhand by Sparks. Strong throw over to first is offline. And that will be an error on the throw. A tough play, but he didn't have to. He went backhand, but an errant throw will give El Dorado their first error of the night. So here's Noah Wallace. So N. Stokes Berry watching my brother. Who is your brother, I'm curious? Is he a Bronco or is he a Warhawk? I'm fond of Portland, Oregon. My youngest son goes to school at the University of Portland. He's a runner for the Pilots. Squaring around is Wallace. Looks at strike 1. Noah Wallace with a strikeout and a single tonight. He's 1 for 2. Andale with 1 run on 4 hits so far here tonight through 5 2/3. And the 0-1 pitch is almost hit him, 1-1. Folks, on July 3rd here at McDonald Stadium, there'll be a 6-inning modified rules game, an exhibition softball game with the Broncos and Special Olympians. The Butler Blazer Special Olympians will be here. The 1-1 popped up again on the infield, this time to first base. Connor Kinn settles under it, makes the catch. And boy, Hudson Oliver is really in control here tonight. No runs on no hits. There was 1 error and 1 man left on base. Again, we'll go to the bottom of the 6th inning, 6-1 El Dorado. Braden Rodden to lead it off for El Dorado. Here in the bottom of the 6th inning, 6-1 El Dorado. First pitch from Hendrickson is high. So you can close the book on Scudero. He goes 4 1/3. Gave up 6 runs, all earned on 11 hits, 1 walk and 4 strikeouts for Scudero. Hendrickson did a good job. He picked off a runner and then induced an infield ground out to get out of the 5th. Hendrickson's been good for Andale this year. Here's a 2-0 pitch, and not close, 3-0. This is his 9th game. Looks like all relief. Yeah, no starts. He's got an 0-1 record, but a 2.51 ERA. And a 4-pitch walk to Braden Rodden. And that'll bring up Cooper Elliott, who's 1 for 3 tonight. And the last time that Hendrickson worked was on June 22nd, 4 days ago, against a terrific offensive team, the Cheney Diamond Dogs. He went an inning and 2/3 and had 1 strikeout, didn't give up a hit. Cheney, probably the best offensive team in our league. Great Bend. Great Bend's another good offensive team. But Cheney, hands down, it just seems like they just have, there's no break in their lineup. 1 ball and no strikes here to Elliott, who's squared around and taking here and looking at strike 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Bunnell over at third for Andale, sneaking in. Back on June 20th, 2 innings of work for Hendrickson, a couple of walks and 1 hit, but struck out 2 and kind of goes off speed here in for a strike 1 and 2. He's had 5 straight appearances not giving up any runs. The Hayesville Aviators got him for 3 runs, and that was the 1 loss for Hendrickson this year. That was back on June 3rd. Hadn't given up a run since June 3rd. Pretty good. Bounces 1 in here. Rodden takes off. That'll be a wild pitch. I could make that call myself there. Rodden goes down to second base. 2 balls and 2 strikes here to the leadoff hitter, Cooper Elliott. Singled, stole a base, and scored in that 4-run first inning for the Broncos. The 2-2 is whistled foul. Look out. It hits off the protective netting in front of the Andale dugout. N. Stokesbury is a Warhawk fan. His brother is Colton Stokesbury, a pitcher for Andale. Nice to have you tuned in. Our broadcasts are for all. And don't forget, our games are archived. Usually about an hour or so after the game. As it uploads, it'll be on my YouTube page here. You can watch it anytime you like. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And Elliott just able to get a piece of that and foul it off. The great city of Portland, Oregon. Two pitch coming up to Cooper Elliott, and he hits it on the right side. That'll move a runner. Bobbled for a moment, but now over to first, and Elliott's retired. But a productive out as Rodden moves over to third. And a nice job by Beiswinger. Does exactly what you're supposed to do. Get in front of it, block it with your chest. Keep it in front of you. Get the out. Here's Brant Kim, 2 for 3 today. 2 singles, a stolen base, and a run scored. And an RBI opportunity as the Andale defense comes in, and a swing and a miss for strike 1. Brant Kim hitting .205 this summer, 9 for 44 coming into play tonight. And bounces this one up the middle, immediately moving in, and that's going to get through. And that'll be a single for Brant Kim. The shortstop Keyline tried to get it on a tricky hop and couldn't get it. And an RBI single for Kim. Hard to blame Hendrickson. He kept it. He got the ground ball, the infield ground ball that he wanted. No, I don't think so either, Gary. Rodden was going off the crack of the bat, and he moves well too. So 7-1 El Dorado. And Jamie Ritchie hits it hard out into left field. A jumping catch made in left field by Cameron Duke. And scampering back to first base is Kim. Boy, Ritchie hit it hard, but right at Duke, who had to elevate to make that catch. So 2 away, and here's Connor Kinn. Connor Kinn, 1 for 3 tonight. Tell you what, Brant Kim, Gary, with a 205 average coming in, 3 for 4 tonight, is going to help.
That's right.
First pitch is down and in, 1-0.
Yeah, I think he had a hit last night. He's been steady and improving.
Well, and moved up. Sometimes getting put number 2 in the order.
Yeah.
A little confidence boost. Throw first. Back in safely is Kim. We won't have a video of that July 3rd exhibition softball game, but if you're watching and listening here in El Dorado, you should come on out. That should be a lot of fun. Seeing these Broncos play some softball with the Special Olympians. Kin hit this one hard, and Kim had to go onto his back on the turf to avoid getting hit by that. That was his only chance. Sharply hit by Kin. And Kim, tell you what, that is some alert base running, because a lot of times you hear that, you see that ball hit, you're just running, and Kim had to run and then duck for cover. Here's Tanner White. And that pitch stays upstairs. 1-0 to Tanner White. He was 1 for 3 tonight. That one, a mighty big one. A 3-run home run in the first inning. And that one in the zone for a strike. Mr. Stokesbury wondering how the weather is here. Well, it felt like 96 degrees, and finally here in South Central Kansas, it looks like we're in about a week's worth of dry weather. Let these guys play some baseball. White hits this one out into left field. Duke is under it and has to catch for the third out. 1 run on 2 hits for the Broncos. We'll head to the 7th inning. El Dorado 7, Andale 1. Top of the 7th inning here for El Dorado and Andale. New pitcher in the game for the Broncos is Kyle Collins. 6 foot, 175 out of Cat Spring, Texas. He goes to Cisco Community College. And his first 2 pitches out of the zone. Quite a night for Hudson Oliver. 6 innings of work, gave up 5 hits, 1 run, it was earned. 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. Two balls and no strikes here to Yeager Keyline. And that one in there for strike 1. 2 balls and 1 strike here to Keyline. Keyline 0 for 2, all against Oliver. And up in the zone, 3-1. Kyle Collins, his 9th game, an 8.16 ERA. He has no record, but he does have 1 save. And swinging at a probably ball 4, and that'll make it 3-2. Last time we saw Kyle was at Cheney. 2/3 of an inning, gave up a couple of runs on 1 hit, 3 walks. Walks have hurt Kyle this summer. And 1 down the left field line in foul territory. Breeden giving it a look, but it will fall just up against the wall against the Bronco bullpen. 3, 6, 8, 12 walks in the last about 8 innings of work for Collins. He does have 18 strikeouts. 3-2 here to Keyline, the number 8 batter in the Warhawk lineup here tonight, the 3-2. And just missing. So a leadoff walk to Keyline. And that'll bring up Thomas Beiswinger. So a leadoff man on for the Warhawks. And Beiswinger looks at strike 1. No balls and a strike. Beiswinger 0 for 2. A pop out to short and a pop out to left field. The 0-1 curveball is out in front of that, was Beiswinger fouling it into the Bronco dugout. 0-2. 7-1 El Dorado here in the 7th inning. Home game tomorrow night. We'll have it here on YouTube for you. Mulvane and El Dorado. Played a couple of tight games earlier this year. The 0-2 pitch hit him. So a walk and a hit batter and some trouble brewing here for El Dorado. Runners at first and second for Ethan White, who's 0 for 3. We might have a pinch hitter. We talking to the umpire. 31. RJ Lara. Pinch hitter hitting here for White. So RJ Lara, we'll see what he can do. No hometown or college listed for Lara. Oh, he's a local kid. Lara, 4 for 35 on the season, hitting 114. He has walked 12 times. 1 ball and no strikes here to Lara. Pitch, low, 2-0. Lara was 0 for 3 last night, but walked twice and scored twice in a 12-11 win for Andale. A much-needed win for the Warhawks last night. A lot of close games. Been on the losing end more than they'd like. But I look at some of their games. June 7th, they played a doubleheader with Cheney, and they lose 11-7 and 3-2. Cheney has just found a way. That a lot of teams have played Cheney tough. But Cheney somehow just finds a way to just be 1 run better. A 2-0 pitch to Lara, and that one's piped right down the middle, 2-1. Four RBIs on the summer for Lara. Of his 4 hits, 2 of them have gone for doubles. 2 balls and a strike. Bunting, squaring, pulled it back, 3-1. Keyline walked. Beiswinger was hit by a pitch. Runners at first and second. Some activity in the El Dorado bullpen. And the 3-1 lifted foul and out of play right behind us. So a 3-2 pitch coming up to R.J. Lara. And that's nowhere close. Walk, hit by pitch, and a walk. And here comes Cameron Duke. 7-1 El Dorado. But Andale has something working. Bases loaded. Nobody out here in the 7th. And Collins missing 1-0. Wind still out of the south here. It's died down a little bit, but still blowing out. Here's a ball to Kin, who gets it on the short hop. Will tag the runner out at first. Run comes in is Keyline. Beiswinger moves to third. Lara down to second. And an RBI ground out there for Duke. So here's Thomas Buckley. 0 for 3. Strikeout, fly out to center, and a pop out to third. First pitch to Buckley, missing 1-0. Going from the windup is Collins with runners at second and third. One away here in the 7th. And a swing and a miss. Rodden was ready to fire down to third. I'm not sure if he stumbled or didn't want to hit the batter, but he pulled it back. 1 ball and 1 strike. Tanner Buckley hitting .340 on the summer. Good eye there, 2-1. Buckley with a .340 average. 53 at-bats. He has struck out 17 times on the summer. And Collins hits the zone there, and it's 2-2. Two-two pitch coming from Kyle Collins. And hit out into right field. Ritchie has it. And now Ritchie with a throw home. And the play at the plate. Can Rodden get the tag? He cannot. The ball hopped on the turf. Rodden had to go a little bit down the third base line to get it. And a good slide by Beiswinger to score on a sacrifice fly. Not a bad throw there by Ritchie. Staying at second was Lara. 7-3 El Dorado. Now 2 away for Austin Bunnell. Bunnell 1 for 3, struck out twice, singled, stole a base, and scored in the 4th inning. And first pitch swinging, fouls it into the netting behind home plate. No balls and a strike. And low 1-1. In the Sunflower Collegiate League Eastern Division, Hayesville is 10-5. They're a game and a half up on Derby, who's 9-7. El Dorado is 7-7. Pitch outside and high, 2-1. Mulvane 8-10. They're 3.5 out. And Newton, who was on a winning streak, now has dropped a couple in a row, and they're at 7-10. Cheney in the Western Division, 15-2. They have a 4.5 game lead over Hutchinson. Fouled out of play, now 2-2. Young man by the last name of Burtis plays for the Wichita Sluggers, leading the league in batting. He has a .490 batting average. We'll see him here Saturday and Sunday. The Wichita Sluggers at El Dorado. We'll have both games for you here on YouTube. Here comes a 2-2 from Collins. Curveball stayed upstairs, now 3-2. Three balls, two strikes to Austin Bunnell. Ethan Bergkamp waits on deck for Andale. Runner on the move. Bad throw by Rod, and Elliott able to slow it up just enough. That was ball 4. So Bunnell goes down to first. If Elliott doesn't get some of the leather on that one, that would have been an error and a run scored. Surprising to see Lara stealing. I don't know if Lara figured 3-2 count, I'm just running, or if that was called by the coaching staff. Don't know. But it worked out for Andale. Now runners at first and third. They have no hits in the inning, but they have scored twice, and runners at the corners for Bergkamp. And he fouls off the first pitch, 0-1. 7-3 El Dorado. Andale trying to tighten it up a little bit more here. Swing and a miss, strike 2 on Bergkamp. He's 0 for 3 tonight. A ground out to third, a strikeout, and a pop out to third. Collins a pitch away from getting out of this jam. And nice job by Bergkamp to stay in there. He fouls it off. No balls and 2 strikes to Bergkamp. The pitch from Collins is off the handle, and Sparks comes up on it. He'll throw over to first and just get Bergkamp by a step to end the inning. 2 runs on no hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. Time to stretch in El Dorado. 7-3 Broncos. New pitcher in the game for Andale, and he'll deal with Tanner Sparks, who has 2 home runs here tonight. Only one. How many Broncos in history have 3 home runs in a game, Gary? Couple?
Yeah, I know at least 2. No, 3.
At least 3, Gary Carr, as he digs into his library of knowledge. 1-0 pitch from Luke Hardy missing. Jeff Hendrickson goes 1 2/3 for Andale. Gave up 2 hits, 1 run. He walked 1. First time he's been scored on since June 3rd. The 2-0 pitch to Sparks is fouled off. He had a mighty cut, 2-1. And hello to Tony Ritchie, part of that Ritchie clan that tunes in. Jamie Ritchie, an all-star for El Dorado. The All-Star game July 2nd at X Stadium in Wichita. Here's a 2-1 and hit hard out into right center field. That'll split the outfielders. Sparks on his way to second base, running hard, thought about 3, but he'll slow up and stop at second. 2 homers and a double. Not a bad night for a kid who got an extra hour of BP in tonight. And we'll see if this continues, but when Sparks has hit it hard, Breeden has come up and hit it hard. The one time Sparks got out is the one time then Breeden got out. But hitting behind, they've gone homer single, fly out, homer double. Now here's double. Breeden didn't get good wood on this, grounds it over to third. Tough play, but nicely done by Bunnell to retire Breeden. Moving over to third is Sparks. Boy, Bunnell made that look easy. That was not an easy play. So that'll bring up Dawson Woods. Dawson Woods 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored here tonight. Luke Hardy is from Crescent City, California. He goes to the College of the Redwoods. I have not heard of that one before, Gary.
I think it's a junior college.
I'm going to guess it's a junior college.
That's a community college.
6'2", 170. He has an 0-1 record on the summer, a 6.96 ERA, and this is his 7th game. The 1-0 to Woods, and he holds up. And Sparks didn't get a great read on where that ball was bouncing. Good effort there by Bergkamp, and Sparks will just stay at third. Last time Hardy pitched was June 21st. He went 4 innings against the Wichita Sluggers, gave up 3 hits, 4 runs, and all 4 were earned. Two balls and no strikes here to Woods. Hits it hard right at Beiswinger, and he looks the runner back at third and goes over to first to retire Woods, who slammed his bat on the ground, and I thought I heard it break. So infield in works for the Warhawks there. Now 2 away. They'll go back to normal defensive position, and here's Braden Rodden. Rodden is 1 for 2 with a walk and a run scored tonight. And looks inside at the first pitch from Luke Hardy. Bottom of the 7th inning, 7-3 Broncos. Rodden had a good pitch there, fouled it off, 1-1. Feels like 89 degrees right now here in El Dorado. Current temperature 84 degrees. One ball, 1 strike. And Rodden hits this one out into left. Duke has been Johnny on the spot all night. He's there to make the catch. So the leadoff double doesn't hurt Hardy and the Warhawks. We'll go to the 8th inning. El Dorado 7 and Andale 3. So Kyle Collins returns to the mound for El Dorado as we head to the 8th inning, 7-3 Broncos. And it looks like Luke Hardy and Colton Stokesbury both go to the same junior college. You're right, Gary. The College of the Redwoods in Northern California is a JUCO. Unlimited knowledge from you. First pitch from Collins missing. He had a 32-pitch 7th inning. He walked 3, hit a batter, and gave up 2 runs. A 1-0 pitch here is high. No, it's in there. Strike, 1-1. Eric Williams, the designated hitter. 1 for 3, singled, flew out to center, reached on an error. 2 balls and a strike. El Dorado committed 6 errors last night in the loss at Andale. Only 1 here tonight. And this pitch missing, 3-1. It'll hit off the backstop and run right up to the umpire's foot. 3 balls and a strike to Eric Williams. I don't know if you can see on your screen, you look out beyond the center field lights, some dark, ominous clouds. There's a little storm that was moving straight at us, and now it's curved off, moving southeast. So not gonna get us. Pretty tiny blip on the radar, but an interesting cloud formation that you can see that there in the out beyond center field. Here's a 3-2 and well outside, and a leadoff walk to Williams. Mentioned Collins, 12 walks in his last 8 innings, now 4 to that total. That's 16 walks in 9 innings for Kyle Collins. Looks like we have a pinch hitter. We'll see if we can get a number. Number 4 is, well, that's Noah Wallace. So he was just talking to the umpire. Noah Wallace, 1 for 3 with a single tonight. Swing and a miss, strike 1. El Dorado 7-7 in league play. Trying to stay close to first place Hayesville. The 0-1, high, 1-1. The Aviators look like they will win again tonight. They are up 14-3 in the 5th inning against the Sluggers of Wichita. The 1-1 hit hard out into left field. Breeden has a beat on it right at him and catches it for the first out. So here's Yeager Keyline. He led off the 7th inning with a walk and eventually scored. He is 0 for 2 officially. Great Bend leading Derby 3-2 in the 9th inning in Great Bend. Another close game in our league. Hit hard towards second. Kim makes a great catch. Tries to get it out of his glove. Can't get it there in time. Great play by Brant Kim to catch that line drive from Keyline. So 2 away, and here is Thomas Bieswinger. He was hit by a pitch. He scored in the 7th. 7-3 Broncos. That 4-run first inning. Mentioned it early in the broadcast that you never know where or when that big at bat, that big play. Tell you what, that first inning. First 2 got on for El Dorado, then back-to-back strikeouts. Scudero was a hitter away from getting out of that early jam, but Tanner White hit a 3-run home run, and then Tanner Sparks followed it up with a home run of his own. And the Broncos were off to the races, leading 4-0. 1 run for Andale in the 4th inning made it 4-1, but El Dorado with single runs in the 4th, 5th, and the 6th made it 7-1. Andale answered with 2 in the 7th. That's where we're at, 7-3 Broncos. And the 1-1 pitch bounced towards Elliott at third. He comes up, gets it on the big hop. Strong throw to first. Bieswinger is retired, and a nice inning for Collins after a leadoff walk. He gets the next 3 hitters in order. So no runs on no hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. Bottom of the 8th inning, 7-3 El Dorado. One inning of work tonight for Luke Hardy for the Warhawks. Gave up one hit, no runs, no walks, no strikeouts. A clean 7th inning except for the leadoff double, I guess, for Sparks. And now Ethan Ballman will pitch. And I'm going to guess Ethan was maybe a late ad. He's only pitched in one game, and that was against the Wichita Sluggers. He went 1 inning and gave up 4 hits and 4 runs. And first pitch swinging is Cooper Elliott, serves it out into center field, and R.J. Lara with the catch out in center for the first out. So, of course, with 1 inning of work and not a great outing, Ethan Ballman's ERA is 36.00. 6'2", 180 is Ballman, and he's out of Pratt Community College, hometown of Colwich, Kansas, which is a suburb of Wichita. Yeah, right outside of Andale. First pitch high to Brant Kim. Brant Kim has 3 hits tonight, 3 for 4. With an RBI and a run scored and a stolen base. Gary's going to be adding a lot of numbers to Brant's line. And got under this one, popped it up on the infield. Buckley is under it at first base and will make the catch. So 2 away, and Tony Ritchie will be happy to see it. It's Jamie Ritchie to the plate. He's 1 for 4 tonight, singled in the 4th inning. Great Bend did end up beating Derby 3-2, so the Twins fall to 9-8. A win for El Dorado, and they're basically tied 8-7, 9-8 with Derby for second place. That pitch missing. 2-0. The Newton Rebels leading Hutchinson 12-7. Newton's an interesting team. Good cut by Ritchie, but he fouled it off. The Cheney Diamond Dogs are in Mulvane tonight, and they're up 5-1 in the 7th inning. Mulvane, every team kind of has their maybe issues. They do well. Mulvane pitches well, but boy, they've been shut out more than I think most teams in our league. 3 1-0 losses. One of those to El Dorado, if I'm not mistaken. 2 balls and a strike, and Ritchie serves this one into the parking lot. It's 2-2. But Mulvane can pitch. And right now at 8-10. Oh, wow. Best pitcher for Mulvane went back to West Virginia. That happens. 2-2 to Ritchie, and he'll live to see another pitch, 3-2. So first place Hayesville wins. Check that. Well, they're winning 14-5. Second place Derby loses. 4th place Mulvane losing. 3rd place El Dorado winning. Ritchie serves it into right field, a base hit. Ritchie running hard to first, makes a big turn, and then turns it back. So a 2-out single for Jamie Ritchie. And Jamie is 2 for 5 tonight. Both of his hits have been 2-out singles. Here's Connor Kinn. He's 2 for 4. $15 hits to my numbers here for El Dorado. On the move, Kinn swings, hits it out into shallow center field. That's going to drop for a base hit. Rounding third is Ritchie. He's going to try to score. Play at the plate is out. A close play. Not a bad gamble, actually, there by Ritchie, who was really running hard the whole way and almost scored from first base on a single that was dumped just beyond the shortstop. So no runs on 2 hits, 1 man left on base. We go to the 9th inning, 7-3 El Dorado. RJ Lara to lead off the ninth inning for Andale. 7-3 Broncos. Kyle Collins returns for his third inning of work. Starts off Lara with strike one. Lara walked his first time. He came in to hit in the seventh inning for Ethan White and stayed in center field. Curveball, a beauty in there for strike two. Interesting note to tonight's game. Outside of the bottom half of the fifth inning, each team has left a runner on base in every half inning. Kyle Collins, good morning, good afternoon, good night to Lara, a three-pitch strikeout. Good start to the ninth for El Dorado. One away, and here's Cameron Duke. Duke is 2 for 3. 2 singles, an RBI ground out, and Collins in there for strike one. Andale has left one runner on base in every inning except for the seventh, where they left 2 runners on base.
They've only left one runner in scoring position.
Only one runner in scoring position. That's good stat there. El Dorado also has left 1 or 2 runners on base in every inning except for the bottom of the fifth. Foul tip by Duke, and it's 1-2. The 1-2 from Kyle Collins, and fouled off. Kyle seems to be working with a little more pace here in the ninth inning.
For 7 pitches, 6 of them are strikes. That's quite an improvement.
A rough seventh inning for Kyle, better eighth, and so far pretty good here in the ninth. A fastball right through there for strike 3. So 2 looking strikeouts to start the ninth inning, and that'll bring up Thomas Buckley.
With all these games, that saves us another reliever.
Hudson Oliver was brilliant, went 6 innings tonight. Gave up just 5 hits and 1 run. Ball 1 to Buckley. Buckley, he will. Yeah, this is a save possibility for Kyle Collins. Collins has 1 save on the summer. Curveball stayed upstairs, 2-0. Tomorrow night, the Broncos right here again, hosting the Mulvane Patriots. Hope you'll be tuned in again. We'll have it for you. Stream will start around 6:45, and the game at 7. Swing and a miss. Luke Hardy's parents are watching from Crescent City, California. Welcome. 2 balls and a strike here to Buckley. And the 2-1 is in there again, 2-2. Boy, Kyle's the zip on his fastball here in the ninth inning has been impressive.
He's got plenty of talent.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
All he's got to do is put up where he wants.
Collins winds and deals the 2-2 curveball. Rodden thought it was strike 3. So did I. And it's 3-2. That was a beauty there from Kyle. So a 3-2 pitch here to Buckley. Curveball. And again, close, but not in the zone. So a 2-out walk. And that'll give Bunnell a chance to get to the dish one more time. He's 1 for 3 tonight. Couple of strikeouts, singled and scored in the 4th. He walked in the 7th inning.
We couldn't leave anybody off base, could we?
I guess I might have said Buckley's first name wrong. I apologize. Tanner Buckley. I've got it written as Tanner. It's in front of me as Tanner. I think I've been wanting to say Thomas Buckley tonight. I don't know why. I don't know a Thomas Buckley. I apologize for that. Tanner Buckley got the walk. He's down at first base. 7-3 El Dorado, top of the 9th inning. And the pitch from Collins in there for a strike. 1-1, Gary?
Yeah.
1 ball and 1 strike. Andale gets ready for 3 games with Great Bend. 1 tomorrow and a doubleheader on Friday, and all 3 are at Andale. Here's the 1-1, almost hit him, 2-1. 4 of 5 at home for El Dorado, starting with this one here tonight. Mulvane on Thursday and the Wichita Sluggers Saturday night and Sunday night. 2 balls, 1 strike here to Bunnell. And a swing and a miss, strike 2. Deuce is wild here, a 7-3 Bronco lead. And the runner on the move. The pitch is hit towards Elliott. He gets it on the short hop. Strong throw to first. And that retires Bunnell and the Warhawks. No runs on no hits, no errors, and, of course, 1 man left on base. And the El Dorado Broncos come up with the win. I'm going to add up my numbers here. And the Broncos win this game 7-3. And a huge, that 4-run first inning really proved to be the difference here tonight. For El Dorado, 7 runs on 16 hits. They committed 1 error and left 9 men on base. For Andale, 3 runs on 5 hits. They had no errors and 10 men left on base. The winning pitcher, Hudson Oliver. The losing pitcher was Dominic Scudero. And Kyle Collins picks up his 2nd save of the season. For Collins, which is interesting, mentioned Hudson Oliver, 6 innings pitched, 5 hits given up. Kyle Collins, even though there was a lot of traffic on the base paths, did not give up a hit in 3 innings. He did walk 5 men, but no hits given up by Collins in his 3 innings of work, and no runs, or the 2 runs given up by Collins. So he gets the save. El Dorado, I should also say, time of tonight's game, 2 hours and 19 minutes. Very efficient here tonight at the ball yard. So the Broncos move to 8-7 in league play, and the Andale Warhawks fall to 2-15. Our next broadcast is tomorrow night here on YouTube. El Dorado will host Mulvane. Our video stream will begin around 6:45. Broadcasting begins at 7 o'clock. Mulvane at El Dorado tomorrow night. Hope you have a great rest of your evening. Thanks so much for the emails and for all the chatter here on the broadcast. Always fun to visit with you fans, whether you're a Bronco fan or a Warhawk fan. It's always fun. We wish the Warhawks well against Great Bend tomorrow and Friday. We'll see you here tomorrow night against the Mulvane Patriots. Until then, Kurt Caden bidding you good night from El Dorado.